Tips.
Hello, YouTube viewers. I am Sandalwood99, and this is the Gina-nija. And today we are reviewing a Wii game called Silent Hill: Shattered Memories.
Scary shit.
It is a scary, scary game.
Like
Silent Hill is a long series of games. This is the 7th entry into the series. I think it actually has more games than Resident Evil. The first game came out shortly after the original Resident Evil and was sort of Konami's attempt to go, you know what, you don't own survival horror, Capcom. And I personally enjoy Silent Hill a lot more. Basically, in the original game you played as Harry Mason, whose daughter disappeared after a car crash, and you go explore this forbidden town of Silent Hill, and you discover monsters and demons and devil worshippers, and it goes from there. And since then, the series has expanded in a bizarre series of directions, some good, like the second and third ones, some terrible, like the one on Xbox called Homecoming. But this one, they sort of restarted everything and went back to its original origins. It's a reimagining, I believe they called it in all the TV spots. Again, you play as Harry Mason. There was a car crash, your daughter is missing, and that's about all you know at the beginning. And you begin to examine and search through this abandoned town. And every so often, the world freezes over and becomes inhabited by these terrifying, indestructible monsters that Harry must flee from.
and that is when you start crying and you turn off the game.
If you are the Gina-nija, then you are scared. I was scared too my first time through. I will admit to you, there is some scary shit that goes down in this game.
I remember missing patches out of them. They were like chunks of like
Oh,
silver
it's so
shapes. It was
amazing.
like a
They're
chandelier head
terrifying,
almost.
and they scream at you and run and chase you, and you're lost, and
Your adrenaline just
you
gets
don't
going.
even. My cameraman, Crazy Lighting, reminded me that there's an 8th one coming out. However, it's coming out on the Xbox, so I won't get a chance to play it. And I believe they're going back to their original formula of being able to actually kill the monsters. Oh no,
No
they're
guns.
not. There's not going to be guns.
In 7, I don't. In 8, I'm pretty sure.
Yay,
No.
so I
7
can't
for
shoot
sure.
scary monsters.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see how the 8th one goes. But this one is amazing. It really is. And one of the things that is so amazing about it is its psychological profiling system. This is revolutionary. I do not use that word very often, but this is revolutionary.
Awesome.
The game opens up with a therapy session where you answer a series of true or false questions, and then about 7 other times throughout the game, you get to return and do little coloring things, do the raw chalk ink blots. There's one where you match up couples into married couples. There's one where you look at pictures of people and decide whether they're sleeping or dead. And all these choices drastically affect how your character responds, how the other characters respond, how the world looks, where you get to go, what puzzles you have to solve, and what your monsters look like. And that's just such a cool concept, because multiple endings have always been part of... I don't know what my cameraman's trying to tell me right now.
The King and the Bull one.
Oh yeah, and there's a cool little guilt test, but it's really awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
Don't spoil too much.
there's been multiple endings in every Silent Hill game, but it's always been based on 1 or 2 major events, and they've been very simplistic, and it's always clear which is the best ending. This one, you don't really know exactly what caused you to get the ending you got. You just know you got it based on your psychological profile.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking a lot, but there's a lot I want to say about this game.
Yeah, I know.
Second.
The end.
Oh, the ending.
Spoiler
Dear my
alert.
Lord. Dear God. The ending. That is one of the twisted and most twisted endings ever.
It is
Like,
so awesome.
I was like, oh my God.
I have to play this game.
It's not
It
even
was-
like twisted. It's just
amazing.
It was so, it's so
It takes
different.
advantage of what you don't know.
It does, and it's
And
very
what you
different than
assume.
every other Silent Hill game. If you played other Silent Hill games, you assume the story's going one place, and then it kind of goes in this different, weird, psychological way, and I think it works really, really well. When this game was announced, I was watching all the YouTube videos and reading the comments, and let me tell you, there were some pissed off people saying things like, why is the world frozen and not hellish and fiery? Where's the darkness of Alicia's nightmare? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. They decided to go into a different aesthetic direction, and it works. The Frozen Nightmare works really well, and lack of combat works really well. Every Silent Hill game has had very terrible combat controls. So terrible that I actually adjusted to the terrible controls, and when I play a game with good combat controls, I'm bad at it. But this game, it's gone, and there's just... I think one of my problems is it's a little too short for me.
A little bit, yeah.
It's about 6 hours from start to finish, with all the cutscenes in it, and there are a lot of cutscenes. A little bit, if you know your way through the nightmares, it's even less.
It's like 3.
It's not a long game at all, but trust me, for those 3 to 6 hours, you were really entertained and terrified a lot of the times. Leave the window open for now, Crazy Lightning.
The movie.
Oh yeah, that'll
Later.
Be later. My next problem is... It's not really my problem, but it's something I feel I have to say, because a lot of critics have talked about it, and I feel I have to talk about it. A lot of people have criticized it for not being scary enough. And it is scary, but it's not consistently scary. If you
At
play,
first it's scary.
I think differently.
Get through a nightmare or two.
What happens is the nightmares are terrifying, your heart beats, and you're like, and then as soon as you get out, you relax, and you're just like, oh, and you suddenly realize you've been holding your breath, and that your shoulders are hunched, and you're pressed against the screen, desperately trying to escape, and you relax, and you're chill, and you're back into solving the puzzles, and you're like, yeah, this is cool, and the story.
And you're in the forest.
But in the original Silent Hills, there's always this mild fear. So it's just whether you prefer to be mildly afraid the entire game, or to have like calm and then terrified, calm and then terrified. That's the difference. I think it works well in the Wii game. I think it works well as a PS1 game. It's just your preference. Yeah. I hope that they do another reimagined one, and that they put the psychological thriller profiling thing back in, and I hope they do more with it. Because I thought the storyline would be drastically different. It's not drastically different. The scenes go different places, but they always end up the same.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disappointing my second time through, that the story kind of ended similarly. But, again, it's just because this is the first time any video game's done this. It is such an achievement. It really is. Oh, we haven't talked about it. Graphics are beautiful. This looks like an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Graphics are
It
pretty
does.
good.
Shut up.
It
Look at the
doesn't.
Soul Catcher.
Especially with the
One.
TV you have. Get an HD if need be. Plug her in with the Wii. The Wii
Oh
does
my
have
God.
HD cables. Plug
Trust
her in.
me,
I want to try that on my TV soon.
You watch, whenever you play a Wii game, you kind of watch it through the Wii rose-tinted glasses, and you forgive the graphics that aren't as good as the Xbox 360. These graphics are so amazing. Amazingly high production values. You know, the medals move almost realistically to the words that are spoken, which is a problem that some Xbox games have. I don't know if you've noticed, but the graphics are so realistic. Alan Wake was terrible for it. Graphics are so realistic, and then the mouth,
Sucked.
mouth animations are really off, and it kind of throws you off. This
Alan
game
Wake
is
sucked.
kind of like
Which is good.
Games have you been playing on the Xbox?
every Xbox game is like that.
Really?
Alan Wake
Yeah,
sucked.
you know what,
Alan
every
Wake
Xbox
didn't
game's
suck.
like that?
Shut
Okay,
up.
the ending sucked. The ending of Alan Wake sucked. You need to play through the game and see how crazy idiotic this ending. I know I'm the cameraman, but still, all right. It's so bad that the Xbox had to send out an add-on to the game, like one
That
of those
was
little
free.
editions you can buy, and it was free, so that you could understand the ending.
Alan
You
Wake
don't
the
own
single.
an Xbox and you don't
Shut
play Xbox.
up.
You don't know
Dude,
about
dude,
graphics
up the
and-
street.
You're not
Friends.
in this.
What?
Friends.
Oh, occasionally playing a couple games.
We're
All of them.
Yeah, you.
our
every
resident.
single
whatever, we're at
Xbox
9
game.
minutes.
Very angry at
Fat
us.
tits.
Yes.
Or what?
I'm afraid of him.
You call him a producer.
I said the resident Xbox. So I'm totally gonna give this a score now after the Gina-nija does.
Okay. So technically, for when it was made, I think it was top notch for Wii. So in order to that, I would
Today
put
would be
it
nice.
at 9.
I gotta
Put it
go.
at 9.
I gotta go 8.5, but it's. I think it's the best horror game.
I'd
we
give it
ever.
more, but it's
It's-
kind of scared the crap
It's
out
the
of
best
me.
horror game on the Wii. You love horror. You got a Wii. Buy it.
I don't.
See you later.
Now, in case the editor hasn't taken this part out yet, if
End it.
anyone is still watching, you lose.